Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video this week for the month of mayhem will be subtle terror. Alright, so before we get started, just make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. It is just something that, like I said, I really appreciate and I really like for you guys to do. And it just means a lot to me, so just go ahead and do that. It's free, you know, little free 99. Go ahead and press that, and yeah. So for subtle terror, I am going to be talking about Blood on the Tracks, which I read volumes 1 through 6 literally in one day. I said, oh, what? This was crazy, and it's not done yet, and this bitch is just wild. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about it. So our first volume, and then I'm not sure if I'll go like in complete order because I'm just gonna go off in memory and just pretty much just talk about it because that's how I do my videos. But our first volume, 100%, we are introduced to Sei and his mother and his father as well, and you kind of get this glimpse of his mom. I don't want to say negligent, but she is kind of like, what's wrong with you, girl? So we get first introduced to them going to go see a cat, and Sei was 3 years old, and he wants to go pet the cat, and his mom's like, yeah, like, go ahead and pet the cat, like, live your little childhood life. And they go and pet the cat, and then he says like, the cat's cold, and she's like, the cat's dead. And when he asks why and everything, she just looks at him and smiles. So 100%, I believe that is a great introduction into subtle terror, because it's subtle. Like, she literally is just looking at him and smiling. And so Sei, we end up in like present, and Sei is just like, oh, I had this dream, blah, blah, blah. And his mom was like, oh no, like that actually happened. You were 3 years old. She's like, do you remember how the cat died? And he's like, huh? And she's like, nothing, forget about it. What's up with you, bitch? Why are you doing that? This don't sound right. So then we end up moving forward, and we meet a girl in Sei's life whose name is Fukichi, if I'm saying it right. And we also meet some of his friends as well, and we also meet his cousin. His cousin ends up coming over every weekend, and his cousin is like, oh, like, your mom is super overprotective of you, like, have you noticed that? You know, like, you should be able to do what you want to do, kind of thing. And Sei's like, no, like, she's not. But then he goes back and thinks, he's like, she was there every day when I was in school when I was a little kid. She's always kind of just been by my side. So you get this sense of like, okay, this mother just kind of loves her child. That's just the bottom line. Besides what happened earlier, you were a little weird, but you know, you just get this sense of a mother and a son. Sei's friends end up saying like, hey, we're gonna go out to such and such this weekend. Do you want to come with us? And Sei says, you know, let me go home, ask my mom, let my mom know. And his mom is like, hey, we're going on a family trip. Me, you, your cousin, your cousin's family, our grandparents, your dad, like, we're all going. And she was like, I hope you don't have any plans. And Sei is like, no, like, it's fine, like, I'll go. Also during that time, Sei's love interest is like, hey, like, you know, can I come over sometime? Can we have a date, basically? And Sei's all like, ooh, me, bitch? Yeah, like, you like me, I like you, okay. And they're only 13, so it's kind of crazy. So they end up going on this family trip, and Say's cousin, they end up looking on like this cliff, and Say kind of pushes him. I'm sorry, not Say. Say's cousin kind of pushes him a little bit, not to the point where like he's gonna fall off, but the mom freaks out. She hurry ups and grabs him. It's like, oh my God, are you okay? And Say's mom, as Say's cousin's mother, ends up saying like, you really are overprotective. Like, you need to calm down. Like, everything is fine. He wasn't gonna kill the boy. And they laughed at her, which is crazy. So Say's like, this is kind of wild. And then they're all eating, laughing, having a good time. But you can tell that Say and his mother are kind of just like on the edge, because they were just put in kind of like a scary predicament. And I was reading it, I was like, no, bitch, because this shit isn't funny. Because if somebody pushed my kid like that over a cliff, even if it's just a tiny bit, I don't care who you are, okay? So I completely felt for Say's mother for this. And I was like, okay, like, this makes sense. Fast forward, we keep going. We end up getting to like this insane scene where Say and his cousin end up going to an even higher ridge, and his cousin's like, hey, come here, like, come look at this. And Say's like, no, I don't want to go over there. He's like stuck because he was so scared before. We end up seeing his mother come and finding them, and she says like, hey, like, you know, get from over there, it's dangerous. And he's like, no, it's fine. And he stands on one leg and like, ooh, like, you know, this is fine, like, I'm not gonna fall. And his mother runs over, grabs the cousin, and you see the cousin look at her, and you see Seichi look at her, and you see her arms reaching out, and the cousin is pushed off the cliff.
Oh my God!
When I say, I was like, oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. And when she did that, she had the same look on her face when she looked at Seichi when that cat was dead. So I'm like, okay, so you killed this cat, you're wild, and you had your son touch it, even more wild. And now you just killed this cousin. Seichi, please get up out of here. They end up, the mother ends up putting on this award-winning baby. Okay, I said, oh, bravo. Okay, you out here putting on this act. She's putting on this act, crying like, I couldn't save him, I was too late, blah, 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 blah. The family ends up going on a search party, finding him, and end up taking him to the hospital. The doctors ask, no, I'm sorry, the police ask, you know, like, how did this happen, blah, blah, blah. The mom puts on her act, and then they ask the son, and the son looks at his mother and is like, yeah, like, this is what happened. That's the first volume. He's defending his mother. He's saying like, yeah, like what she said is true, blah, blah, blah. Wild. Then we get into pretty much Seichi's trauma. He is so distraught by what he just saw and what happened that he ends up having a stuttering problem, and he isn't basically what he used to be. He can't talk. He's nervous. He's scared. His mother's talking to him like normal. His father's talking to him like normal. They're just like, you know, it's okay. It is what it is. Seichi ends up getting a letter from the girl, Fukushi, who ends up coming to his home. And his mother ends up catching them because she was gone with the father. She ends up catching them, and she reads the letter, which is pretty much saying like, hey, Say, like, can I be your girlfriend? I really like you, blah, blah, blah. I never liked someone this long. She ends up having her, the mother, and Seichi lay in the bed together and rip up the note together. Like, literally, like, you hold this side, I hold this side, and we're gonna Like, what? What? And then his mother's like, you know, I love you, and like, you know, you don't need that in your life. And they kiss on the lips. Y'all are he's 13. Not only that, but he's your child. Your child. Ill. Absolutely ill. What's wrong with you? So then I get the sense of like, okay, well, not only is she crazy, like legitimately insane, but she also is like abusive to her child as well. And then not in abusive as like I hit you kind of way, but abusive in like I'm kind of taking advantage of you and I'm confusing you, and like I'm giving you all of my love, so you should give me all of your love kind of way. But obviously a little bit more because she kisses him on the lips. So it's just wild. I don't want to give away any more of the story in case you all want to read it. I just pretty much gave you the first volume and the second volume. It gets a lot more insane, and you get a lot more I don't want to say insight, but you see the mother do more and more things, and it's just like, damn bitch, like you are fucking crazy. Like you are crazy, but it's good. I don't think it's like a mental, it could be like a mental illness. I don't know. She's just so wild. Like she is just so wild, and it's so insane. But if you're looking for an extremely quick read, because a lot of the panels in this manga are literally just panels, drawings. That's it. Even both sides of the of pages are just like either a full drawing or just nothing but looks. It is insane, but it is such a good read. This is my first book that I've ever read by Shuzo Oshimi, if I'm saying that right. Oshimi, yeah, Shuzo Oshimi. There we go. And I'm really loving this. It is definitely up there on my list because literally as I'm reading it, like I said, I'm talking out loud. I'm like, no, bitch, this shit isn't funny. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, so I'm sorry if I'm cussing too much, but yes, 100%. It is insane, and it is such a good read. So I highly recommend this because you, like I said, you can finish it in one sitting. I was reading, baby. My eyes was going, my brain was turning. I was reading. It was good. So please check this out, especially if you're looking for a horror manga or something that is on the more scarier side that isn't like gory or anything like that. For sure, check this out. So thank you all for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.